discuss about digital identity. We know about the identity first, right? So I like to add this thing. For example, uh, um, anywhere you now go now, you require an identification, an ID card, and everything. And now the digital identity. Here you can see. Maybe you have seen in movies and somewhere else also. Very in coming years, the people and everybody is going to be identified by numbers. So digital identity is collection of features and characteristics. It has been this definition has been collected from lots of different area. It is about the individual's information stored in and authenticated by digital pair, and of course, yeah, user transaction interaction for and representation online. So let's get inside it also a bit. A digital identity can be defined in many ways. For example, information on an entity used by computer system, right? Because now, whenever I go anywhere, I find that I have to enter my information inside the computer and inside the system to check to get access to through that system. So first of all, a digital identity also been digitized. My information has been digitally converted to a computer so that the computer system can read and computer system can represent okay myself actually. So there are some ISO, a small definition of ISO has been given, like for example, set of attributes related to an entity. So entity means we are the entity and others official businesses also. So data, there are some other information I like to add here. The digital identity is also data about person stored in computer system to be linked to their civil national identities, collection of usernames and passwords, online search activities, birth date, social security and purchasing history. So all the things can be digitally stored in our identity because as you know, you use Facebook, we use Facebook and lots of social media and other things also. So in the social media, whenever we search something, we try to buy something using social media or the internet uh, e-commerce options. So the information has been passed through the system, right? And our likeness, dislikeness, everything has been actually been tracked by the system. So now, so if you like, you can also store your total total I mean the like even not only your name, addresses and everything. You can also store your likeness, dislikeness, your knowledges, your degrees and everything inside your digital identity. So let's go a bit higher than that. So some categories of digital identity I like to categorize it in several set categories. So there are, maybe this is not the I'm just giving four category here, but not this can be done differently by different researchers. So for example, your for credential, the following things are actually important, right? Your general credentials, digital identity for your credentials, name, date of birth, nationality, residence. These are the common things. You have your national ID card or your other things. But here you can see you can add more. You can add more, like webinar registrations, how many online purchases, how many things you have going through. So your digital identity can add this information too. And then we can go to another category, like for example, digital identity as a character, right? What kind of person you are. If you like to add those things in your, those also identify yourself, right? Kind of person you are, your profile of social media. So what you are interested in, what kind of researches. So when I was actually working in blockchain technology and other parts, so my information has been passed through those particular so I mean conferences, journals. So I get mails from them, right? So this actually also create some add some value or add some changes to my identity, right? So career and news network sites also, for example, in maybe LinkedIn and some other networking and some other networks and dating apps, so whether we are actually using it or not. Okay, so digital identity can be also as a user, you are actually using lots of information from different area. You are buying something, you are selling something, maybe in e-commerce, or you may visit websites for your interest. Okay, so these are also the information can be stored in your digital identity also. And another thing is digital identity as a reputation. Digital identity can be categorized and it can be used for your reputation also. So if someone else, whenever I went to the Philippines in 2017, 18, so in one university. So before that, I had to show my police verification certificate to the authority of foreign ministry. Okay, so to get a police verification certificate. So, but doing that, I had to gone through lots of offices. First of all, I had to go to apply to the local, the law enforcement offices. Then they search my, they try to get some records about my activities, and then they send these records to the local authority, Metropolitan Police. Then they send it to the foreign ministry. Then I got it after maybe 7 or 8 days. So if you think that now the digital, if it is can be stored digitally, so we can get it very in a very short time, right? So we don't need to. If you like to do this, you don't have to be uh, lost much time later on if you like to. So employment histories can be also, nowadays whenever we go to any places and submit our CVs, it can be actually now stored in digitally. So we just give some numbers and everything. So it will be stored, it will be shown to that the company when be the organizations may know our history and employment, everything. So it can be also digitized. Degrees and diplomas, as you know, also the same thing. Testimonials, reviews, and about ourselves. So these all belong to digital identity. But what is the problem then? So we know the identity, and previously it was paper-based. Now it is digitally. It can be stored in databases of central databases or distributed databases, and also in the national and corporate levels. But what is the problem? There are challenges also. Here we go. We depend on quick data processing, right? And the machine, whenever we try to get quick data processing, we have to depend on machines like computer. And machine lacks digit because they can calculate numbers easily than other things. So too many, but here the problem is number of people are increasing and number of record with the data with people, associated data with people are increasing day by day. Now, previously, we thought that a person have very few can produce very few data or information, but now we know that in each moment, each minute and seconds, I'm actually producing data. So too many informations are there. So how to organize them and how to digitize them? This is also challenges. Digital identification identity is complex and also challenging for different ways. For example, giving out identities. Okay, someone may actually you have to you may leave your you may lost sometime, right, identity, or you may lost some data. Giving out identity means in different way. Um, if I like to explain it in this way, say for example, there are other things also given. For example, we have to depend on third parties, right, to provide to get those data. For example, national, say, Bureau of Investigation or somewhere else is where our data is there. But if there are people are working over there, so it can be leaked, right? So giving out identities can be it is also challenging. So another thing is entities can be mishandled. Entities means the parties who are responsible for your digital identity, dealing with your digital identity. For example, if you like to get a SIM, mobile SIM or mobile number, so they will ask your national ID or some IDs. So they are one of the entities, right? They can mishandle your personal data because human are working there. So yeah, another thing, if you are a very important person, it can be hacked or theft. So these are the challenges of digital storing identity in digitally, because nowadays you don't have to go to physically enter inside a room or any place, because to get the information about person, you can get it digitally everything, if you have the access of that particular area. So now um, I can give you some other reasons why actually it is exposed, right? How digital information has been exposed. As you know, public Wi-Fi networks. When we go to a shopping mall, we try to find if there is a free Wi-Fi. So whenever I connect my phone with the public Wi-Fi network, so actually my phone is compromised with that system, right? My information inside my phone can be leaked. Whenever I send some data and some information using that Wi-Fi, I'm also sharing those information with that network. Okay, that network can store my credentials and information also. Unsecured websites, as you know, it is very common nowadays. So I'm not going to explain everything. These are the so you see how we actually lose our data, and how it is why it has been so much challenging. And the storing digital data is not always a very happy thing, because may not be a very easy, comfortable, or may not be very useful always, because there are chances, there are the occurrences that we actually fall into and lose our data and lose our information. So now, how can we protect them then, if these are the challenges? Now, in the blockchain, as you know, the new it has been operated since 2008. So blockchain can bring some uh, new solutions to face those challenges of digital identity, right? So our digital data and our transactions, each and every transactions can now be held in blocks, and one after another block. For example, my general information, whenever in block one. Now, after that, whenever I'm getting a degree, it has been creating a block two. Then whenever I'm doing some experience, I've got some experiences, it has been added in block three. So like my all information can be stored in blockchain, and since this blockchain technology is also can be a shared network, can be kept in shared network. So if I lose my data, I can get it from the peer connectivity. Okay, peer the nodes. So nothing to worry about losing or the security um, of the data. So I'm going to explain it a bit more, for example, but before that, I'm now uh, going a bit more with the blockchain solution of the um, challenges, right? So as you know, blockchain features, these are the exciting blockchain digital decentralization. Decentralization means none of the data in the blockchain is owned by the centralized entity, right? So all the nodes on the blockchain network hold the data. So whenever if someone uh, likes to get it, check it or get it, so it can be checked and get by from any block. So, and it is required mainly for the verification. When we like to verify someone else's, so we get the verification request in the network, and we can get the I mean the feedback from the ledgers in the network. Okay, ledger stores all the data about the blocks. Immutability is a wonderful thing. Once data has been entered into the blockchain, it cannot be tampered with because the block has been created with time tempted, the hash algorithm. So this happens because of cryptographic hash function, yeah, of course, and it is very, it is not done by human being. It is very uh, uh, crucial, and it has been done by huge computation, right? And transparency is a wonderful thing because in blockchain, actually, all the nodes in the network can see all the data, and it can enter the data that has been entered into the blockchain. So it has been transferred to the total network. So all the information of someone is stored in different blocks. So it can be verified easily, and it is very transparent. So I hope you know about the Bitcoin and the blockchain technology also. I would explain it a bit later. So let's see if there are some other issues related to the challenges, meeting the challenges of the blockchain. So here another thing is, for example, you see here you see why blockchain technology is safer. Actually, why it is how it has been meeting the challenges of the previous digital identity record keeping system or something, or transaction. It is time stamped series of immutable data. Why I am saying time stamped? Because whenever a request has been sent to the network to create a block, so in the blockchain, in the Bitcoin or the blockchain technology, within 10 minutes, actually, it, the mining machines come out with the hash and the block, right? Hash text, and so that the block can be created, and the rest of the nodes in the block actually gets the information. Yeah, it has been created. So um, the same data, same information cannot be stored in, cannot be done by someone else's, because once it is done by one mining machine, so it has been shared throughout the network so that everybody knows about it. So, and the number of another thing is managed by cluster of computers, and means the advantage is not in one machine or particular one is responsible here. So it is more safe and more actually the um, secured. That's why it's not owned by any single entity. Means it is not centralized, stored in a particular storage. So if it is, it has been actually shared throughout the network in the all ledgers, all machines who has the ledger facility, they can store the uh, blocks, information about the blocks. Okay. So this is how actually we can meet the challenges of the digital identification, storing, and in blockchain. So now we like to here you can see also the identity and the access management market expanding grow. Why it is why it interests us is because of the last line here. The identity and the access management market is expected to grow from 9 billion to 2006. Actually, it has gone much more higher than that now. Okay, it was been in 2019. It was actually projected, but now it has been growing much more than this. So let's see the next one. Okay, so blockchain for digital identity. Now, how blockchain supports, right? You know, the characteristics of the blockchain. distributed ledger technology, from the distributed ledger technology created to track, as you know, I'm sure you know about the crypto ownerships, or the Bitcoin ownership, or any other cryptocurrencies. Like, so whenever two transaction happens, two transaction take places from whenever someone wants to send some money to another point. Okay, he sends the request to the in the blockchain. Then the transaction, uh, for this transaction, right? The blockchain, I mean the network, tries to create a block and try to get a key hash key by the mining machines, and then whenever it has been created, the transaction is made, right? And for the transaction, someone pays an amount, and that has been gained by the mining machine who wins to create the hash, right? So here is another problem also. You can see that maybe in the blockchain, whenever a request is given, a request is put for creating a block. So all the mining machines in that in surrounding area, so they tries to uh, develop it, right? And tries to find that they use their computing power, but it has been owned by one particular say a miner. So now what happened here? So all whenever the others are also trying to use their computing power, but it has been gained by one. So that's why that particular miner is getting some advantages by an amount of money in the crypto format. But another thing is the rest of the miners have lost, actually. Rest of the computer who tried to uh, create the hash key also, they have lost their computing power. So in the blockchain current situation of the blockchain technology, it is not, we always say it is very useful in different way. For example, we lost lots amount of computing power, okay, in the blockchain, in the all miners, but it has been done by particular one, but the others are actually using their computing power also. So we have to feed this mechanism for particular project, because not all the models can suit in the blockchain. Okay, so for example, in cryptocurrency, in the transference of money in cryptocurrency format, right? It is possible because the person who like to send money, previously he used to use a bank, and bank used to transfer the money, and for that transaction they had to pay to the bank. So now they are paying much less, but they are paying to the blockchain technology, I mean the blockchain network, who I mean to the particular, it goes to the particular winning miner, actually, right? But what will happen if a person like me, so for example, with digital identity, uh, I like to keep my identification, all my records in digitally, and if we like to create blockchain for human being, so who is going to invest the money into the network, right? These are the questions come. I'll come to this point later sometime. Okay. This technology replaces traditional system with highly trusted mechanism. As you know, blockchain can empower user to have greater control over their own, because the user may or may not may or may not agree to give his information to the um, other the particular entities who like to get the information, right? So for example, if I like to go to a shop for shopping, whenever I buy something, I like to pay. So that particular shopping center, doesn't need any other information from me other than the my ability of buying. right? Because they don't need to know about my personal information, my birthday, my relationship with others, and they don't need to do that. They need to be get paid, right? So that's why they will need to know about whether my cash, my wallet, my digital cash is valid or not. That's the only important thing for them. So if it is possible in the blockchain, by and keeping the right of the information to the personal to the person, then it is much more safe, right, for us. So let's see, blockchain, and we are also saying that we can control, we can now the blockchain, in the blockchain we can digitally control our information, and for example update it also to the third party verification may be required with some claim. Okay, we can control our identity, we can access and update our information, we can choose the information which we like to keep private, and also we like to send some data. For example, if I like to get a job in a particular organization, I like them to show my record on experiences, so I can give them access to particular data to them. I can do that also. And also I can add more information to my existing information pool, so that it can help me in my life, right? So in the blockchain, if I like to a case, if I like to explain a case of banking system, and for example, in any place, when we like to go and we like to do something, for example, a customer, okay, actually, first of all, he needs a digital information, digital ID or in the blockchain. So first of all, customer likes to do some transaction. Okay, document verification is one of the main thing. So if he likes to buy something or do something, so how the blockchain can work here, right? So for example, the customer uploads his identity, right, and also addresses, and then it has been documented to the blockchain. It has been given to the blockchain. Then the bank performs the know your client's activity, and before doing that, the bank may need the customer will have to check, give the permission to the bank, right, so that the bank can act on the KYC. But before doing that, bank cannot do the KYC for anybody. If I'm interested to let the bank know, then the bank will know. So this system actually secure my private information to be leaked through the blockchain to others, right? This is a wonderful phenomenon. So another make manifest KYC status for the answer, but I'm not giving to that particular one. Okay, so maybe there are lots of different banks, or there may be different financial organizations who like to know about me, but I can also only give permission to those which I like to. So customer may allow also other business to verify KYC status, because maybe when I want to go outside of the country, so for example, I like to do a business maybe in Africa, maybe in Europe. So the business entity of that particular area may want to know about my financial strength, right? They may also know the whether my solvency is enough or not. So then this has been produced by my bank. So I may let my bank's information passed to them with my digital, with my permission, and for particular permission, a particular section, and it can also be verified by the bank. And nowadays, can be done very easily. For example, whenever in my university, we are actually doing a we are actually doing our student certificate now from now on verified by the blockchain. Okay, we have actually now created private network, and we are using Ethereum platform. And actually, our all our students who have got the degree and the graduation and post graduation, we make Genesis block for them, and they get a number. Okay, and they don't need to carry the certificate with them to get a job or to get someone else's. Okay, they just put whenever they go to a particular place, or maybe to the employer also, they just give their number. Okay, this is my number to check. Okay, this is my digital number, a digit. Okay, so that you can check into the blockchain. So whenever those digit has been entered to the through the network, they like to check. So that number actually through an IP brings it to our private network. And whenever we see that, you just give them the assurance of whether the certificate is valid or not. Okay, and if the student wants to let the party know more, then we actually let them know more. The technology actually allow them to see more. So now thus the student doesn't now require to carry certificates, and the parties, I mean the employers, also do not need to send us request of verification. Please verify this certificate whether they are actually valid or not. They don't now send us email or attachment or anything. They can check it by themselves, because the blockchain has been privately kept by our university. And also there is now there had been a lots of development. Some universities are now actually investing to come to the common blockchain, so that all of their certificates can be kept there. So and the students will feel more comfortable to move around worldwide. So, and also we are also doing some researches, for example, to verify the business entities also. In Dhaka, we have city corporations, and city corporations provide certificate to the business entity, right? And so and now they are actually they can do it, and they can use blockchain for verification of the trade licenses. So we are now working on that, and particularly hopefully very soon it will be very easier for them. So whenever some customer will need to buy something, whether from the Facebook or using any other say social or media, they can check, they can check their they can check their identity, right? First of all, they can verify their identity, first of all, whether they are a valid customer of this city or not. So that's it for me in brief, but I'd like to know something from you also. If you like to share something, I can give you some idea about about the challenges of blockchain also. There are some problem in blockchain also, right? So blockchains are records kept in, as you know, in network and public and network, and it can be created privately also, but not in a single area, right? And throughout the ledger, all the records have been kept. But now there are maybe different kinds of challenges may occur, and we are also researching on that particular issues in future. For example, it take longer time for create a hash key in the for example 10 minutes, it take 10 minutes, but it is much less than the physical transaction, but we allow for that. But we may need to create it more quickly in future. So there are lots of different technological advancement, and the researches are going on. So how about some questions? If you like to ask me some questions, can you put it?
Participants, if you have any questions, you can ask.
What I like to share more, something, for example, uh, for some of our sections of our departments, for example, engineering departments and some other, so now who are actually working with technology. Okay, so they are actually now trying to implement blockchain for their different uses, right? But it not always it suits, because I already told you that in the cryptocurrency transference, it is very easy because someone wish to pay for the transfer, right? And the winning miner is getting that money, right? Some amount of money. But when the interest comes to the person, so why a particular blockchain technology will work for a particular model if there is no interest, right? Because the investment is there, because the mining machine needs to invest their computing power, need to there are lots of, the power is required, electricity, computing power, hardware, and lots of things are required. But if why they will invest it, whether if there is no reason of benefit, right? So not all the model, whenever we suggest a model, we first of all try to find the suitability of the model, the feasibility of the model, whether it suits or not. For example, in this case of digital, the digital data, right? So whenever actually now we like to digital identity. So it is actually the interest of the human being, maybe because of the benefit of the ID, national ID. It has been taken, the responsibility has been taken by the government. Why? It helps the government to identify people. It helps government to help people, right? So in this case also, government authority may create the blockchain network throughout the ministries, so that they can provide the services to the human being. So investment should come from the government in this case. But in other cases, for example, particular the university certificates, right? Why an university should invest in blockchain? Because whenever if the university or the certificate issuing body finds that, they will be benefited from the blockchain, because whenever students come out, pass out from the university, lots of inquiries come from the outside to verify the certificates and the degrees. So if we can overcome these issues by using a blockchain private blockchain network, so if it benefits us, then we can invest on it. So investment should have some, the feasibility assurance, right? Otherwise the blockchain won't work. And now in Indian subcontinent, we have a very big problem in land selling, buying, and also the land transferring, right? So because we used to work it from very early. It has been done uh, with some critical, the we called it the documents, right? Documenting the paper-based documents, the signatures, the fingerprints on the papers, and also the stamps, right? Now it can be transferred to the blockchain, and easily human being can check it whether the a particular land or a particular area or the possession is been owned by person or not. So in this case, the the board of the land and the other things, the development area, development ministry may also invest for the blockchain network. Okay, so that the citizens can get the benefit. So if there is any other question, please.
Participants, please have your questions in the chat box.
Um, I like to talk something about the cryptocurrency also. There are investments in different, the different organizations, business organizations. Now they are very interested to create new cryptocurrencies. So, and they like to come to the market. But there is a benefit and there is also risk also in this issue. For example, I like to say Bitcoin was our primary, the first digital. Digital. I mean the cryptocurrency, and then Ethereum is also another one, and the lots of are there, right? But they do not actually. They all of them are using blockchain, but blockchain doesn't mean cryptocurrency. Blockchain doesn't mean Bitcoin. Blockchain doesn't mean the Ethereum, right? Blockchain is a platform, and this platform can be used to transfer money, to transfer information, to transfer the records, right, from one place to another, and it can be stored. Blockchain can be a very useful source of storage because and it is more secure because it is not being kept in one place. All the ledgers, in the network, in the blockchain network, can store and have the data. And whenever some question arises, then they can actually vote on that particular. Those ledgers can vote on that particular issues because everybody inside that network have the record of that particular block. For example, whenever I like to buy some ticket to go to, say, one place, say maybe go to Tokyo. So, and from home, whenever I get inside to the particular site, and they like to know about my ability to buy a ticket and buy the facilities. So I'll put my digit over there to verify my uh, to solvency, right? To verify my solvency that I have the money. But if they have some confusion, so how they can get the feedback, right? This feedback is since I'm very genuine, and my record is not kept to me only, right? It has been actually shared throughout the network, throughout the blockchain. So anybody who has the record can vote on this particular issue, right? There may be some problem in assurance of the uh, accurate record of my, for example, in my case, for example, if some um, some intruders or some hackers or some particular the with some intention, bad intention, people likes to and someone likes to make me fraud or something. Okay, they may took my transactions, they may copy my transaction, and they may create new block. But whenever they like to put it as a verification, as a proof to the entity who want to know about my ability, then the other entity, the total, the blockchain, in the total number of, the miners, the total number of ledgers can vote because according to the system, in the blockchain system, no one knows where the records are, right? So if someone likes to challenge my record, they have to convince each and every node of that blockchain network, right? Then it is impossible, almost impossible. So, for example, when I make a transaction and I make some money, okay, and this has been transmitted throughout the network that Khaled has an amount of say about $100. Okay, so it has been spread throughout the network. Everybody knows that Khaled has $100, right? So whenever I like to buy something with $50, so that particular entity, the selling point, may want to know whether I am able to transfer that $50 to them, right? So in that case, the network will support me. Network will say, yes, we know that Khaled has $100. He can spend $50 from you. Whenever my transaction has been done, another block has been added to my previous blocks. I have spent $50. If I like to buy another thing with $75, I cannot, because now I do have only 50. Whenever that particular entity, the new entity, I'm telling, try to know about my ability, they will find that Khaled has only 50 legal $50, so I cannot buy more than 50. They will reject my request to buy that particular thing. So this is how the total blockchain can be works in real life. Okay.
Sir, we have a question from the participant.
Mm-hmm.
As more than 50% of attacks encroach on cryptocurrencies, how does
Mm-hmm.
anyone can consider blockchain secure?
I beg your pardon. Can you please ask the question again? I cannot see the question in chat. Anyway, can you please say it again?
Okay, I got it. As more than 50% of attacks encroach on cryptocurrencies,
Mm-hmm.
how does anyone can consider blockchain secure?
Yes, of course. So in this case, particular case, I am also doing the research like double spending attack in blockchain. For example, in some cases, in some intentional persons, intentional entity or intentional say organization or some initiative may occur who likes to make a bigger chain than the existing one, right? In that case, it has been a general a concept like that. The longer chain is actually exists has been taken more accurate than the shorter chain. I mean, the shorter information chain. So in that cases, actually, creating a 51% is not that actually easy, or is not that much, the possible, because we don't know from the network, from the system, from the technology also, we don't know actually what is the 51% of the total 100. Okay, we don't know how many records and where are the records are kept. Okay, if I say this is for example, in a out of 100, if I know there is 100 records, 100 the center where the records are kept, in that case I can target 51. I can target 51. If I like to, if I go for 51 ledger compromise with me, then I can actually challenge that one, right? But how can I say there are only 100? There are 100 records, 100 ledgers are there in the market. It may be more than 100, more than 200, more than 300. It has not been shown in the network, in the blockchain technology. Okay, this is how it is more safe, because you cannot, because to make it 51%, someone and the intruders, I mean the ill-intentioned persons, need to use their computing power and their no the they have to spend time and money, resources, right? They have to spend on resources, huge. But it is not been sure that how much it can be given to them, and how much would be the best, right? So this is not actually there is no assurance of that one. So someone may like to do, say, 51 computing out of 100, but we don't know in the network how many are there. Okay, and also there are some other technologies. In that case, we have to go to the Genesis block one after another, where we can go for the very starting of the the very starting of the block, whenever someone is trying to Genesis block has been created, when the first block has been created, we have to check in that case. There are some cases, of course, this is a very good question, because there are some cases, sometime more than 51% um, uh, can be voted against a legal transaction, a legal record, right? It can be, but in that case, someone in those cases, someone actually can also apply for the uh, record, because there are the some no the tool, like for it is time stamped which time it has been the hash algorithm in the hash record had been created. It can is someone the fraud ones cannot actually make it particularly on the same time, right? The fraud ones will try to make it later with different technology, with different the algorithm or something.
Okay, sir, developing countries like India has very large number of digital identities. Will it be a
Mhm.
boon or a bane?
In COVID-19 situation, we have found that the increase of mobile banking has been increased in huge, right? Out of imagination, it has been increased. So so that I think that and the amount, maybe the amount is not that much bigger, but the total amount of transaction is very high. So in the developing country, doesn't actually. I like to put it in this way, because where there are people, there are requirement. Where there are people, there are actually business. In, for example, in some area of Western country, maybe in Canada, I'm saying that, though they lacks people, they lack actually the human number, because of they have lots of land, they have lots of area, but lots of resources, but they don't have the main resource. I mean, the people. Well, the people, all the businesses are actually occurred around people. So where there are more people, actually we have more chances, and the people can be dealt much easily with digital entity, with the computerized network, with the help of the computing power, much easily than the traditional paper-based documents, right? So, but in that case, we have to do one thing for the time being. For this time, the government should come forward to help the general people, and the later the people has to be also they need to be also knowledgeable about this thing. And I hope whenever something starts, gradually, okay, people actually learn this thing, because the banking system was not for 200 years. When the previous governments, actually when they actually tried to first of all, the British government first of all introduced the banking system here. So, but before that, we didn't know about this thing. But now we know about this thing. Whenever the new technology will come, we have to adopt it carefully, of course, and then the people will learn about it. I think this is our time to go for the digital, the system and the new technologies, where actually it is not very easy to hack, or it is not very easy to make fraud, right? So we actually now depending on the machine and also using the machine, because in the blockchain technology also we are using a very the high level of technology, where actually people cannot make the processing of the hash, or they cannot create the blocks very easily, right? They cannot create it by human. It has to be taken by computing power. And so that's why actually day by day, I think we can uh, take more advantages in the technology, like blockchain and artificial intelligence in the Indian subcontinent, and where the more people are there, right? Susan.
Okay, sir, I think that was the final question. No more questions. Okay, indeed, it was an informative session, and we are all indebted to Mr. Mohammad Khalid Sohel for his insights. Thank you, sir, for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining with us.
Okay, thank you very much for giving me the chance and also for having me here. And this is wonderful community, and hopefully this is for the very first time because when I was trying to create the lectures, I had in mind that the people about the audience and about the others. So maybe later sometime we can come to particular issues related to blockchain or other things. If you like to ask me or if you like to share something about the blockchain and all the artificial intelligence and the digital identity, so I can give you, and I'll send my email and my numbers to the Susan so that you can contact me anytime. Okay.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now we will have the session on cybersecurity zero trust model. I request Ms. Anju A to take you through it. Over to you, Anju.
Okay, thank you, Tina. We'll start this session once the speaker has joined.